Good morning. We're just up at Marbury at the minute. Just stopped to take in a bit of nature and enjoy the vista. The bluebells there and all sorts of glandiflora. Quite quiet. Let's move the nomad and somewhere plant our ample backside. Nicely done this, isn't it? Let's see, make sure we're zoomed out. Check the seat for lovely jubbly. Oh, the gnats are lining up already. Got the knives and forks out. We'll not be stopping long. They find me very delicious. I can hear them chattering. It's Fatso again. Oh dear. Is that a bite already? Good. Good, yeah. Lovely jubbly. Wispy sky. Must be about 9 o'clock, I think. In the morning, obviously. You can probably hear all sorts of birds and stuff twittering. I won't be able to hear them, as I say, till I get to editing and got the benefit of the extra volume. Oop. Here's our new front wheel. Excuse me, snifticating. Courtesy of Dave Hine. I don't think he has a lot to do with it now personally. The gentleman there, very polite, very nice and very helpful. Delivered when he said. Took about a week for getting front and back done. Back one's obviously you can't see much out with the saddlebag on, but not even a pop out of them. Not that I've heard anyway, no spoke pinging or anything, so they've been stress relieved as they should be when they've been built. Nice strong rim, hopefully it'll carry my weight. Quite pleased at the moment. Right, we'll get on. I don't think we might go along canal. Don't fancy all that up and down caper and where that blocked off the bit there, you know, you have to get out and it's a right climb up there, so I might as well enjoy a long cut to Wincham, I think. We might stop and do a bit more filming. Why not? Well, we've just come along the canal, very enjoyable, but a little bit bumpy. I'll have to adjust the camera. It's very close to the edge there. We've just stopped for enjoy a bit at the Thompson Salt Works, where my brother-in-law used to work. I worked for a day, believe it or not. It's been done up with lottery money, which is a good thing, isn't it? Saved it for posterity. Not quite the same as I remember it, but a lot of it is. But when it was going properly, it was quite a bit different. The wagons used to back in somewhere around here, if I remember rightly. Or could have been just a bit further over there. I remember on this day that I worked here, loaded 40 tonne of 80-pound bags on barrows, barrowing it up and down from the where they fill the bags and stitch them. So we had to wait for them to be filled and stitched, and then load them on a two-wheel bogey barrow thing with a handle at each end, and down this ramp, grab them and chuck them to the drivers, and they stacked them. Cross's drivers at the time it was. Joe Cross. I think of it because it's Joe and Jeff. I think it was Joe's wagons, two of them, and then all the jobs in between after doing all that. Oh dear. very pleasant anyway. I have been around the museum. I think the video's still up there, you know, I'll have to check and what have you. There's a couple of pictures I think I've got, I'll probably include in this video. But if you're ever in the area, Thompson Saltworks at Marston or Winsham, probably don't know where the border is, but the canal's just here, just behind me now, about 50 yards, and that was of course in the old days where the salt went to and off to wherever. So we'll grab the camera now and just do a little pan before we get going. I've just had it on the tripod, so put the legs up. It's like one of them, remember from War of the Worlds with the 3 legs? Obviously it would be, wouldn't it, being a tripod? Yeah, that was the offices over there, and I remember going in there when I started and finished. My brother told me, he saw me with this big barrow, he said, "Tell him you're finishing." I said, "I've only just started." He said, "Tell him you're finishing." Well, you don't argue with your big brother, do you? The old chimney there, the boiler's in there of course, in that black shed. The shaft there I think used to go down or pump it out, that was it, yeah, used to pump the brine out. My brother-in-law used to work the pan that's along by the road there, George Crawford. But hard work on nights. You had to stoke the fires underneath. They had auto feeds on them when I was there, but before that it was all done by hand. Auto feed, you had a hopper, you just chuck the coal in and it'd feed it via a worm into the boilers. I don't know how efficient it was, but everything worked, so it must have been alright. And then of course when the brine had boiled and the salt had dropped to the bottom, you had a great big long rake which you'd reach halfway across the pan and throw it out, and then rake the salt to the side where you had a shovel that was shaped like an L shape with an handle on it with holes in, and you had wooden, well, I don't know what you call them, boxes I suppose, that were wedge shaped sort of, handle at either side so you could move them right at the top, and you dip your L-shaped shovel in the brine under what was left of the water, get it out, and because of the shape you could easily put it into the barrels, you know. And then when they dried off, you took them out, put them on a trolley and took them into the dryers. Always very red hot it was. And this is one of the pans they brought outside as part of the exhibition. As you can see, because of the fires, it's had lots of repairs, and the salt of course very corrosive. That's an early, you see the riveting, that's an early one, that is, at this end there, because it's the fires were mainly at that end, and this end didn't quite get so hot as it were. The liquid did eventually, enough to drop the salt, but it didn't have the fires, and that's what's caused most of this heating and cooling. You can see there's a hole. They'd have to drain it off of course and clean it all up, and then the wells had set to, and well, the work's self-evident, been done and done and done and done, hasn't it? But this ended quite good. None of the implements about, so now there's a canal boat going past, see, so that'll show you where the he was parked up. They just set off there. So hard work, as I say. You have to pay, I think, to go around the museum, but it's worth it, you know, if you've never been in a salt works where they made salt. Plenty of parking. They've just done resurface the roads and what have you. So it's quite good. Right, we'll switch off for a minute, and then we'll just get a shot going out the gate, and we'll get underway. All those little, what do they call them? Well, they used to be temporary homes right now. About 50 grand a piece they want for a plot. Having a laugh, aren't you, for a wooden building? I do think so. Seem to have sold a lot though. That was the original entrance there. If I can. I've got a picture of this from about here, of the original set out, if it were, so I'll just get a bit of footage. I could take a still, but I can always grab a frame from this video. Those are the old wagons that you remember we were talking about the railway that ran from Parks's across there over that bridge. Well, this is where one of them ended up, and the other went to New Cheshire. 6 tons 12. 6 tons 1200 weight. 20 weights to the pound for. Sorry, to the pound. Don't be silly, that boy. 20 weights to the ton. You have to go back. I got half and half. It was half imperial and half changed over to metric. Not long after we were at school, or during, I can't remember precisely now. That's a steel cropper that had probably been used to effect some of those repairs on the pan when they needed a smaller piece, you know. Belt driven through these belts here. That's a flywheel, that one, big one. Through those two there, off the steam engine. Transferred through the gears, and then the blades are there to shear the steel. I assume this is the workshops, if I remember right. It is wood saw up there, and there's your shaft to drive things. They may have had a steam engine inside, obviously. I can't remember it was in there that I went, or in the small building to the right. I think it was that small one, but I'm not sure. So it's a long time ago. And the Salt Barge Inn, well, obviously, you know why it's named so. I remember we used to go in there when, before they did it up, the right ramshackle place, all the floors were uneven, and we were regular visitors there, you know. Used to get in that right hand bay there, and they decided to do it up, and there was wires and all sorts hanging around as you were having a pint, you know, and sometimes we had a meal and what have you. Straight down there, Alan Vleer's scrapyard, and there used to be another chap down there. There's three of them, I think, set it up originally with ICI land and what have you. Used to get all the old car spares and stuff. Right, we'll get off home.